much, Rishi. A very good afternoon to everyone watching. We could be in for another thrilling and exciting match here with these two left-handers, two of the game's top players.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame, Neil Robertson today.
Neil Robertson, who did win the toss, and he will break off. Looking forward to this one, John. Should be a close encounter, you would think.
Yes, we've got 4 very attractive quarterfinals coming up, but I think this one probably shades them. 2 fantastic players in good form, and they're getting sick of the sight of each other. There's the 3rd time, 3 consecutive years they faced each other here at the Masters. Last year Robertson won, the year before it was Mark Allen. So who'll win the decider?
Well, he wasn't expecting to finish in behind the black, but it'll do nicely. No problem just coming off the right side of the table to nestle into the pack. But already this opening frame could prove to be a little awkward with that red going up into the bulk end of the table. In fact, early signs that they might have to start this opening frame again. Because there's not a lot that Mark can do here. So if they nudge into the reds a few times, not touching, so not a lot that Neil can do. I suppose you could leave the white in a position, force your opponent to play the red that's up between the green and brown there, and send it back up the table, and we'd be back to normal. If not, let's start again. That's what I would suggest. Well, he sort of left that red that I mentioned for Mark to play and double back up the table. There's a little bit of risk with it. He might cannon into the yellow or green, whichever way was to double the red back up the table. But no, he doesn't want to risk that, so. But it's not too bad now. At least we're not stuck in the pack.
Very tricky, but there is actually a pot on here. Big shot to be taken on early in the match. I don't blame him for refusing it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Listening to the players talking about Neil Robertson, Graham Dott was saying he changed around completely, used to go for everything, and that was a good indication there, John. A few years back, Neil would have had a go at that red you mentioned, but he's a very sound tactician now.
Well, there's no doubt about it. His match play won this tournament last year. His potting and break building was still competent, but his overall level of play, tactically, was superb. So he's got a good mix in his game, and that's why he's been world champion.
Looks as if Mark's going to take that. It's slightly easier from this position, but still tough. Well played. An early chance now. couple of loose reds, but he's also got an angle on the blue if he wants to go straight into the pink. He's a pretty attacking player, is Mark. On this occasion, he's played for the red at the back of the bunch, but he's played for it in such a way that the reds will be scattered all over the table when he pots this, as long as he gets enough action in the cue ball to get back for the black. He might free the pink also here.
7.
Yeah, it's always the worry with that shot is the cue ball finishing tight to the side cushion. Okay, it's not right against it, but it's still a good test of your cueing early on in the match. See the action on the cue ball. It just comes back flicking that other red. Didn't really help. Took a bit of pace out of the cue ball. So it may look fairly simple from there, but this is a test.
Yeah, good cueing. It's even
14.
more difficult when you play it at that pace, which he had to do to try and get himself onto a red. He couldn't just afford to drop the black in, but it's still not ideal by any means just yet.
Yes, the thing with that shot he's just played is sometimes, Dennis, you're wondering where the cue ball's going, you forget to pot the ball. So you just had to stand for that and say, well, wherever it ends up, I'll carry on from there. So good pot. Well, he's obviously seeing some problems here. No problem to drop the red in the centre. I mean, could he drop it in? And the only thing is, if he played the blue into the what we call the green pocket, he'd be slightly hampered cueing wise, leaning over. So I don't know whether he fancies that.
$15.
Well, is he unlucky? He might have to take the blue into the other corner pocket. He tried to get on the black and he's just covered it slightly, only just. But I think with the shot you mentioned, if he had dropped it in, being a left-hander, John, it was awkward with those two reds, but this blue's pretty awkward as well.
Well, does it go, the blue?
He's having a long, hard look at it. Maybe it's too tight. He's having another close look at it, so it must be tight. Well, just underneath his cue, is there just a half a pocket? Come on, move that cue and let us have a look. Well, that is tough. He's cut it in the middle.
That's a great recovery. Very, very good shot.
20.
And he's looking quite confident, as Mark Allen, already today.
Well, after potting a fabulous blue
Mark
there,
Allen,
he was
20.
stretching a little bit and missed a much easier shot than the blue.
Yes, that wasn't expected. And where the cue ball's finished, Neil also being a left-hander, he's got two options down this cushion. Well, he's taken the red that's closest to the pocket. It's just the bridge hand's a little awkward.
One.
Well, after that deliberation with the bridge hand, decided to take the red closer to the cue ball and struck it beautifully.
Mark Allen.
Six. Seven.
He's a terrific player to watch, Neil Robertson. He really is. There's always a big debate who's the greatest potter we've ever had in the game, and Neil's certainly up there.
14.
We've said it so many times,
15.
all the top potters in the game have been left-handers. Even now you've got Mark Allen, a left-hander, Judd Trump, a left-hander, Jimmy White, Mark Williams. The list goes on. And way back, a South African, Perry Mans, in the 70s, was the top potter in the game.
Just looking at the angle here, Neil. Pot this blue. Love to hit that pink full in the face. Something like that.
And I think he's on that one to the left corner.
20.
We'll just show you the split again. Played it very nicely. And that's the one that he's dropped on. The black's covered for the opposite corner, so it's not straightforward with regards to the position. A little bit of work to do. But if he's got a slight angle, he might be able to screw up towards the blue. The pink's there also. No problem with cue power with this player.
21.
This is going to be awkward though.
Well, he pinched a little bit on the pocket there. Potted that red into the side of the jaw. Used all of the pocket to get back. And this is a tester.
It was a JP special, that. I say JP, John Parrott, probably one of the best players in the game at potting a ball when he's tucked up on the cushion, but that was superb there.
29.
And already there's signs in this match that Neil Robertson means business. You know, sometimes, Dennis, there's a match in a tournament where you've got away with it a little bit. Certainly did with Ding Junhui. He was rejuvenated, played much better
36.
Ding. And he was one cannon away in positional shot from being knocked out, Neil Robertson. And sometimes when you're in a tournament, after you feel like you may have got knocked out, you find a bit extra.
Yeah, Ding was on a 50
37.
break on his way to winning the match and opened the reds and just was a fraction away from finishing nicely on a red. And Neil made a terrific recovery and it was a great win.
42. $43. 50. 51. 58.
Already 38 points ahead. So he needs a few more reds with colours to make the frame safe.
59.
So that missed red proving costly for Mark Allen when he was just stretched a little bit, and after cutting a fabulous blue, and he missed one. Well, this was the one. It wasn't a gimme by any means, but it was just stretched a little bit too much there. He's okay. The red next to the yellow pots.
66.
Yes, that's the first one in the break he hasn't hit properly, though. Screw with reverse side there, didn't get into the cue ball enough.
Well, he wasn't anywhere near that, and I think the reason
Robertson,
for it was he was
66.
so disappointed with his previous positional shot. Well, nevertheless, it's a fine 66 break, but maybe it's not going to be enough. Mark Allen can still win, and look at the way the balls are situated, John.
Yes, Mark Allen's been was looking very disappointed because he came to the table and those two reds have lined up. And there's going to be a gap here, I think.
May take the more difficult pot here. The one to the left of the three can play it as a shot to nothing. He only needs the red, so he can take the one to the left, get the white back down towards yellow and brown, and once again, long way off the attempt. You don't lose many frames when you make a break of 66, but that could be the case here if Mark Allen can get the chance. This is a difficult chance he's faced with.
Yes, he either puts all his eggs in one basket and goes full out for this, or tries to find a safety behind yellow and green. And there's your answer. All out. And what a pot that was.
One.
Excellent.
First class, that shot. Oh, he's overcut it. Can you believe it?
Mark Allen
He
one.
looks over at Neil Robertson and
conceded.
says, I've had
Frame Neil
enough of this
Robertson.
frame, Neil. And he had a chance to pinch that frame after Neil making a break of 66. Missed a sitter of a pink, and it's Neil Robertson who leads 1-0. Pretty good break-off shot there. Almost tight on the cushion. You're always looking to get sort of behind the green and as close to the cushion as possible.
Yes, he's also got a blank out of his mind the opportunity he missed there, Mark. Cracking long red he knocked in, but they were all there for the taking if he could have knocked the pink in. So you have to blank it, start again.
One.
Oh, that's a nice little nudge, but he deserved the nudge because it was a very good opening pot, this. And one of his strengths is his temperament, Mark Allen, and he's proved it there. As John said, he missed an easy pink after knocking a cracking red in where he could have possibly pinched
4.
the first frame, so he's quickly forgot about that.
5.
And it's an early chance here with 5 or 6 reds in the open.
Ten. $11.
Quite a loose grip, as Steve Davis was talking about earlier on. Just the thumb and the
18.
2 fingers. The other 3 fingers are not involved very much. But it's
19.
very effective. Very compact. And winning his first ranking title, the
26.
World Open in China, has lifted Mark to another level, and he feels it's his time now.
27.
Well, it hasn't turned out too badly.
34.
I'm pretty certain he didn't play that. Wanted to hit the outside red of the cluster. He's still on a red, so it's something.
$35.
I think he'd like slightly more angle on this green, but the opportunity to come down and get into the pack again off it. And he's unlucky. He hit that very well.
38.
Well, he couldn't have played it much better. Just unlucky to hit the first red and glance off the remaining ones. As with any game, you need a little run of the ball as well sometimes. He didn't get it on that
Mark
occasion.
Allen, 38.
Nevertheless, it's a nice 38 break, but had the split have worked out, he could have gone on to convert the frame.
Yes, I bet he's hoping he hasn't left Neil Robertson a chance either down the left-hand side. OK, these are far from easy, but if there's a little bit of angle, it'll be OK for Neil to take this on. That's a very good shot. Slightly careless with the safety from Mark Allen. Shouldn't have been leaving him that one. We know how good he is with his long game, Neil.
And to pot it at that pace was even more difficult, but he's got a difficult black, and it looks as if the natural angle will take the cue ball onto that red that's near the middle pocket. That's if he just rolls the black in.
So it's a safety. You don't have to win it in one visit, so good safety here. Well, should have
Neil
been.
Robertson won.
I think there's an easy escape down the right-hand side, unless that brown is blocking the path. A little bit on the thick side there. So similar shot for Neil.
was an interesting choice from Neil. He had a chance to come off the pack and open the reds and swing the white around the angles to try and get in behind the brown. And he needs the reds open, but he's kept it tight there. He chose the safer element so that he wouldn't possibly knock one over the pocket. And Mark is doing the same thing. He's playing the red behind the black rather than off the bunch to split them up. I think he's left a chance here. And we know what Neil Robertson's like with this type of shot.
Yes, it wasn't an easy safety shot, that, but you could have hoped to played it a little better. Cue balls bounced too far off the bottom rail there. And these are usually food and drink for this fella.
Don't think he's got away with it this time. Well, Mark's staying in his seat. He's looking at Neil. He said, "Did you get away with it?" We'll find out shortly as he comes round. He has got away with it, believe it or not. And he throws his arms to the heavens.
Well, he's had two pieces of very good fortune in this match so far. 3 reds in the last frame. How he lined the 2 up was incredible, but that's even worse. Unbelievable is right, Mark.
It's amazing. Mark potted the green, went into the bunch and finished on absolutely nothing. And now Neil's made the mistake, and that's what Mark Allen thinks about it. Oh, it's Mark's turn to have a little bit of good fortune. He hampered him with the brown, so a few strange little goings on at the moment at Ali Pally, John.
Yes, and a little worrying that, okay, he knocked that long, slow red in, but he's had a couple of stunt shots near Robertson and missed a pair of them. Usually his long game is immaculate. That's where this cue ball is. It's difficult to get up behind the yellow and green off here, or any of the reds here. Hard to hide behind the brown unless you can come very thin. It's about as good as he could have done, really. But he may have left himself susceptible to a good reply from Neil. It's a big target down there, Dan, isn't it, that yellow and green?
Yeah, it's going to be the first player that can get there. Having said that, Neil is now going to take another long pot on. Let's see if he can get a bit closer this time. And a mile away, and as you mentioned, John, a few of the long pots that he's had to force, he hasn't got anywhere near the pocket, which that's going to confuse him a little bit. Have another look at this. Wow, that was a wide. Sort of thing that can just, you know, put a little dent in your confidence.
Yeah, so if you looked right down his cue there, he certainly hit across the ball.
One.
But Mark will be absolutely sick. He's played it like that. What a chance he's let go begging there.
I was waiting to see a little touch aside there to hold it for the black, but he just hit it a little bit too hard.
Yellow ball.
I mean, I know it's fairly early in the frame, but he's got a 39-point lead. If he could put one of the ball colours safe, It wouldn't be the worst idea.
Mark Allen 1.
And I like that shot. Well played. Yellow nice and tight on the side rail.
In fact, the escape route back down that right side of the table, the yellow and the red are in the way, so he's got to be a little careful here. And he hasn't. He hasn't. That's pretty careless. So another chance for Mark Allen. Can he convert it this time?
One.
He's got to be a little bit careful here. Pink, of course, is going to respot, so to make sure you don't leave yourself snookered with that. Has he?
7.
Well, he certainly covered the one on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's the one he played for. He's going to have to take the other one. It's a thin snick, this.
8.
He's just got himself slightly out of position, which can happen when you play. Like the last shot, he just was a fraction out of getting on the red he intended, and sometimes it takes you a couple of shots to get back into prime position again, John.
Yeah, seems to compound itself. Next shot becomes more difficult than the one before. I mean, really, the way these balls were placed when he came to the table, this should have been a series of little simple screws and stuns and shake hands and let's get ready for frame 3.
As long as this red passes the black, he's okay.
13.
And it does. And that should be the end of frame.
14.
So it's going to be one apiece, and you'd have to feel that Mark Allen will be feeling a lot better because he has seen Neil Robertson miss a few long pots by quite a margin, which is slightly worrying
21.
for Neil Robertson supporters.
$22.
Snooker's already needed. So you wouldn't say either player has settled just yet,
59.
even though Neil did make a break of 66
Sorry,
in the
29.
opening frame. Yeah, Jan Verhaas doesn't usually make many mistakes.
30.
Lost his calculator there.
$35. 36. $41. 42. 49. 49 and a frame.
So Mark Allen, with the aid of that 49 break, gets himself level. It's one each.
Yeah, he's usually pretty accurate and strong and straight on those shots. So, but obviously, if you do put a bit of accidental side spin on very fine, thin cloth, it sort of exaggerates the problem. But he doesn't usually get that far away from the shot.
And how much of it is down to the fact that it's early stages of the match, and then as they go on, they'll just get better?
Yeah, a big part of it is settling down. But you would have thought after winning the first frame, he would have settled down. He's off to a good start in matches. So, Mark Allen can sort of gain some enthusiasm from that.
Just a straightforward safety shot here. Not a lot he can do, just slide off the reds and get up past the green there. But you'd have to get it close to the cushion because that red next to the blue is possible into the left corner. But if he's tight on the cushion, it won't. Doesn't want it to go in the pocket. Hold on there. Pull up, pull up.
Foul.
A little bit
Mark
careless
Allen.
that because he might be able to take this red on this next to the blue and play for the black, and the only red he would leave would be the one he'd have a go at. I don't know if he can see enough of it. If he was to put the white somewhere near the green, could he see enough of that red to take the pot on? Not sure.
A couple of T-shirts there. Where's the cue ball? And then he's got going on his own. Imagine turning up to his house. Good shot. I think that T-shirt Dennis was going on it. He just arrived at his house and I think he'd want me to leave, wouldn't he?
Meanwhile, Mark Allen knocked that red in that I thought he might just be able to get to, and he did get on the black. So that was a careless in off.
Eight. Nine.
No easy red to get on here. They're all covering each other, and if he was to force the black in, even the one to the left of the pink could snooker him on that one. So far from easy, this. And in the end,
Mark Allen, nine.
well, he tried to force it in, but well, his next red was going to be a long one, even if he had have potted the black. The one to the left of the pink still available. And this would be interesting to see if Neil would take this on, because he's missed a few longish ones. Now you can see the one, but he might just elect to play the safety shot. He's looking at the possibility of a plant.
Yes, if he plays this plant, he's going to have to screw the cue ball. It's not one he can play and run back down to the balk area. Be cannoning into the red, so you've got to be full-blooded about this shot. And that's the way to play it.
One.
Beautifully controlled.
A similar scenario here. He can pot the black, but he's running up towards the blue, so not easy to get nicely onto the next red. In fact, he's hit that. Well, he potted the black a little thicker than he intended. He wanted the white about another 6 inches across the table to leave this pot slightly easier.
Just wondering whether he can screw this across the face of the pack so he can pot it in the corner and just manage to take the cue ball to the side. Yep, he could do it. And that's another beautifully controlled shot. So he's played an excellent shot with the plant and another one there. And now he's got an angle into the pack. The type of shot here, you want to play a nice firm stun up into these so the cue ball doesn't come back towards the top cushion. But of course, priority, pot the black.
Yeah, he did play the stun shot, but let it slide off the pack. And now
16.
he's faced. We just show you that again. Didn't quite catch the red as he intended. Now we'll see if he can knock a long one in, because he's missed a few of them.
Yes, he's a little bit unlucky. Needed to get a fuller contact on the red he hit there. Hit that first red thicker, it was going to be perfect. But it is interesting, Dennis, isn't it? You know, you've played a few of them today. You've missed quite a few by a long way. And there's another one.
Yeah, 33% for Neil Robertson on his long pot success rate. You don't see that very often. That's a bit more like it. And not a bad nudge on the
17.
blue. Even though the white's gone to the cushion, he's still got an angle to drop the blue in. And I'm sure there's a red that may be available into the right corner. They all seem to be covering each other, so he'll have to be pretty precise here. There's one that will go.
Yes, Neil's just having a look here. If he gets by the middle pocket, the red that's through the gap there, close to the pink spot, will be the one to play on. But, you know, it's good cueing required for the blue itself.
Yeah, if he drops the blue, and I don't know if he's got an angle just to finish there. If not, he's still got to be very careful, though. Yeah, he could just drop it in, but has he come far enough? Because that first one's a bit tight. He was trying to run through a bit further to leave the other
22.
red. It's very, very tight, this one.
Yes, he obviously must have had more angle than I thought, because if he'd have played that and bounced it off the cushion and back, he'd have given himself a better chance of being on it. But obviously there was too much angle.
$23.
Only just. He had to play it in off the right angle of the pocket, as you can see.
I tell you what, Dennis, this has been some break so far. It's had a little bit of everything. Plants, long pots, tough shots in off jaws. Fabulous so far.
$29. $30.
They're nicely situated, the reds, but he's got to be careful, because we could see that they're all blocking each other somewhat. You've got to just make sure and get a good cue ball each time. It's not that they're all in potable positions. They're all blocking each other somewhat. And that cannon there has left him on a choice of reds. Much better now. It's
35.
amazing, just that one little cannon has turned the whole situation around, and the chances now there. Just a delicate little cannon there has opened quite a few up.
36.
Now, this has been an absolutely fabulous break. It really has. He's a top-class player, and this has been a
42.
top-class break.
43.
You wouldn't
Green
expect
white.
him after all this hard work to fall down now.
$50. $51.
Okay, we might have had a few misses in these early frames, but overall the stand is pretty good. I mean, Neil did have a 66 in the opening frame. Mark had a chance to pinch that. Mark had a
58.
38, 49 in the second frame, and now Neil Robertson with this effort, 58 and counting. So it's building up very nicely indeed, this quarterfinal.
$59.
Not totally straightforward, these other reds. You can just play this in and there's one in the centre, which is virtually guaranteeing position, but Neil feels as if he can get on the one that's behind the pink.
$66.
And he only needs that red that you mentioned, John. He'll automatically finish on blue or balk colour, but he's had a look there to see if the pink would go, not in this pocket, in the other pocket, but he doesn't have to hold for the pink as long as he pots the red. In fact, he could hold for the pink.
67.
He's looking right at the scoreboard. He's having another long, hard look at the pink, but he looked at it before. Surely there must be enough room. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played for it.
Yes, he's having a look to see if he can run round the angles and leave the red either in the middle pocket. But as you say, Dennis, he just needs this pink anyway. And he's decided that that back red will squeeze in. But what an effort this has been.
73.
Well, it's wood pot, but he didn't convert it. But Mark Allen has stayed in his seat, and Neil Robertson with that, as John Parrott said, it wasn't easy, but that was a terrific 73 break. He's now 2-1 ahead. So Mark Allen gets the final frame of this little mini session underway. We will have an interval after this. No real value in trying to pop this red into the left corner because the black is not available because of the red to the left of it. To show you what he's looking at, if that red wasn't to the right of the black, he'd take that one up into the right corner. He still tried to take it on and get back up the table, which he managed to do, but he didn't get the red in the jaws of the pocket. Great pot. An excellent cueing right through the ball. Loads of work on the cue ball. And now a tricky bit. Can he get on the next red? Oh, he's played that beautifully. Needs to pull up though. Oh, he was almost absolutely perfect. But I think he's gone a little bit too far. He wanted that red next to the black. Is he still on it? Just.
4.
I thought with his reaction there that he'd covered it.
I think he deserved a bit of luck there. Certainly.
11.
Opening couple of frames, Neil had the best of the run of the ball.
12.
But it's bubbling up nicely, this match, Dennis.
It certainly is, and if he goes into the bunch here, he could do, because he's got a bit of insurance with the red, and he'll hold on that, and a chance to open a few more here. It was worth going into
19.
the bunch there because of that red that he's just sliding past now.
Yeah, but didn't he play it nicely as well? Didn't overhit that one and get the cue ball going towards the side cushion. He just put just enough pace in it to come back.
20.
And this already is a great chance.
$27. $28.
Left himself straight on the black, but it doesn't really matter because he's got a few reds to play for. Mark's dad, Ronnie, and his brother were over for his last match, flew back home to County Antrim. I think they're back again. They were making plans to come
35.
back. His mum, Lynn, won't be here. She's normally here to support her son, but she's waiting to go in for an operation. So I'm sure you're nice and warm at home, Lynn, watching your son here, and he's on his way to possibly leveling here. And I hope all goes well with your operation.
$36.
Well, the highest break in the Masters so far this year is held by Mark Allen, no less.
41.
With a break of 136. And there's a possible break of 140. And a not inconsiderable prize of £8,000 for the highest break this year, so it's worth winning.
$42.
Mark made 46 centuries last season. He's made 17 so far this season. Played for a choice of reds. He's just overscrewed for the one to the
49.
left corner, but he always had this one for the middle. A lot of the time you're leaving the cue ball where you've got options rather than just playing for an individual ball each time. You're leaving yourself choices. It's amazing,
50.
John. Some people think you
Thank you.
think 8 and 9 shots ahead, but you're sort of using it, you know, different types of shots just to leave yourself various choices.
Yes, there was also one of those strange anomalies that Mark Allen
57.
left-handed uses the rest right-handed. Quite a few players like that, isn't there? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, he plays golf right-handed and
58.
plays to, I think he's 5 or 6 handicap.
was just checking to see if there was one of the reds, the middle one of the three behind the pink, was potable. If it is, and it looks like it is, they'll certainly play on that one.
63. $64.
Just the response that was needed after that 73 break from Neil Robertson in the previous frame.
Yes, quite sensible just to knock that in like that. It was slightly wrong angle there, but get
71.
the points on the board. 71 ahead.
$72.
So that type of shot where his compact cue action's so good. Doesn't have a long pause at the back. It's all pretty compact, but it suits Mark, and
79.
when he's in amongst the balls like this, he never looks like he's going to miss.
Yeah.
Having a laugh there with referee Jan Verhaas, and great to see Jan back in the fold. Had some health issues.
He had a rough old time of it, did Jan, but he's back to normal. He fell in the bath, believe it or not, and had to have an operation on his vertebrae. And then when he recovered, he went off to China to do some refereeing and got DVT, the deep vein thrombosis. Was there for 5 weeks on his own.
Yeah, he said it was fun. 5 weeks, nobody could understand the word he was saying.
87.
This is a great response to sit in his chair and watch a magnificent 73 from Neil Robertson in the last frame. This has been superb
88.
from Mark Allen, and we expected a good match, and we've certainly got one.
What about that for a shot? I mean, not only the pot,
95.
to hold the cue ball on the reds there was top class.
96.
We've had 11 centuries this year. That's the 12th. And coming just at the right time for Mark Allen and his supporters.
103. $104.
He already holds the high break, as John mentioned, a break of 136.
$111. 113.
This is great stuff. Few chances missed early on, but not many missed in the last couple of frames.
160.
One mistake and the frame's over. That's the way they're starting to play, these two players.
$120.
We said it was going to be difficult to pick a winner at the start of this. Nothing's changed there.
131.
In fact, he can beat his highest break. I didn't realize there was enough there.
138.
What a fabulous clearance that is. That's the highest break in this year's Masters. He superseded his break of 136, and it came just at the right time. Mark Allen now levels the scores. It's 2-all.
Thank you. Frame 5. Neil Robertson to break.
John and myself were in the players' room there having a chat with Mark Allen, who was sitting with Terry Griffiths, who coaches Mark, and he was totally relaxed. In fact, we're doing more talk about him getting married on the 10th of May to his partner, Kyla, and she's come back over with his brother Aaron and his father Ronnie.
Yes, and knowing Mark, he'll probably find that more nerve-wracking than this, Dennis, won't he? What he's doing this afternoon.
Where's the yellow going? Where's the red going? He hasn't hit it hard enough. I think this will cut. It's a thin one. Well, you can see Neil's having a long, hard look at it. Just depends what happens to cue ball here. He's going to have to hit it so thin.
That's a fabulous shot, because not only has he chipped it in, he's played it in such a way that he's controlled it to perfection. Absolutely superb shot and great angle on the blue. Well, they've opened up, but what's he on?
6.
There might only be one red potable, the one to the extreme right, but he didn't catch the pink as he intended, but it still opened the reds. Now, if this one pots, he'll have a go at it because he'll head up towards the brown. As you can see, it clearly does. You've got a perfect picture there. We'll know if it's in before he does. And that's pretty good.
Thanks. 7.
In fact, he tried to hold it on the blue, and he's just come up a little bit short. So it might be the end of break. The only possible red is the one to the left of the pack that he could take on after the blue. And that's the one he's played for. And he can get round the back of the black and reds if he pots this.
12.
Could have been better. Could have been a lot better. I don't know whether he can sneak past that brown to chip the green in. It's very tight.
And he's got a long way to travel because the green is quite a thinnish cut.
Green ball.
So he's got to maybe hit a couple of cushions to get to a red here. In fact, he's played it off 3 cushions. And how's your luck? Not very good.
16.
It was never going to be easy that to find a spot for a red there, John, was it?
No, the moment you've got to play the green so thin, you can't really have control of the cue ball. A good clean pot, but asking a lot to land on a red there.
This is a tough one. But it's safely in. Well played. I'll tell you what, he made that look easy, but that was far from easy.
The thing I liked about it was 100% committed as well, Dennis. No thought of trying to run away down to the balk area. This is the shot, and I'm going to knock it in.
Well, look at his putt success rate at 95%. Neil Robertson underneath that. Well, I suppose it's a magical 90%. If you're 90% or above, you're going along very nicely.
mentioned earlier that this is the third consecutive year they've met each other at the
22.
Masters. 2011, Mark won in the quarterfinals, 6 frames to 4. And last year in the first round, it was Neil who came out the victor 6-3 and went on to win the tournament.
23.
So maybe it's time for a final frame decider. Who might get that, the way they're both playing at the moment. All down the years, the Masters has always thrown up some great
28.
final frame deciders and exciting matches. There was always something happening each year.
Certainly this year, Dennis, as well. They opened in 8 matches. 4 of them went 6-5. 2 went 6-4. You know, you put the top 16 players into the melting pot. That's what you get. Competitive snooker.
$35. $36.
Yeah, you got a heavy contact there, but at least it hasn't spoiled things. You can see the red just leave the bed of the table slightly there.
There you go.
So he's carrying on
42.
from where he left off before the mid-session interval.
43.
As I say, he made a break of 138 and superseded his break of 136, so he's in line for that £8,000 prize. You wouldn't think it would stand, but 138 is quite a target.
Yes, and I have to
49.
say he deserves everything he gets in this break as well. After that lovely little cut back on the red that opened the pack up. Played it very positively. Consequently gave him this chance, which he's making the most of.
50.
He looks in fine fettle at the minute.
$56.
Other thing to mention is it's easy on the eye. And the
57.
longest frame we've had so far in this match was the opener. 17 minutes. I think it's 16, 12, 11. This is up to just coming up to 9 minutes, so they're getting on with it.
Yeah, there hasn't been a great deal of tactical play, but it's just how it's panned out. Players virtually clinching a frame with one chance. And not that many pots away from securing this 5th frame.
Has options here, but it may just choose to hold the spot. Yeah, that's what he's tried to do. Couldn't get better position than that, so pink will go up onto the highest available, which in this case is the yellow.
63.
That secures this frame now. Well, the distinct possibility that Neil Robertson might
71.
see another century. Maybe
72.
Not unless he can
Pink ball.
do something a little bit special here. The frame's over. He might pot this. He doesn't, but what a start
72
after
in the
the
frame.
mid-session interval. Just one mistake. And Mark Allen, with that break of 72, gets himself into the lead at 3-2.
a lot at stake. You know, we've talked about the history and the prestige of this tournament, and everybody wants their hands on that beautiful trophy there. And
Steve
to be
had his hands on it
and,
earlier today.
Yeah, and the
Freezing it
Masters.
was.
It was quite heavy as well. Isn't it? But yeah, great opportunity for all the players now in the quarterfinals.
Mark Allen has now got his head in front for the first time in the match.
Yeah, he's a player, Mark Allen. He plays the table, he plays the balls. He's not worried who he's playing. He feels he can beat the best in the business, and he's up against one of those here in Neil Robertson. Now, can he knock a long one in? He's missed a few earlier on in the match. That's a bit more like the thunder from down under.
Yes, very smooth through the ball here. Loads of work on the cue ball. And I have to say, a higher percentage rolling through the ball than stunning and screwing today. That was a great shot, especially when you consider he's watched the 138 and a 72 go in. There was a fair bit of pressure on that.
Yeah, some players like to roll the ball, some like to stun it. You were a bit of a stunner, JP, weren't you? Always have been.
Why, thank you, Dennis.
3.
Well,
Neil Robertson,
he's
3.
made that mistake again we keep talking about. When you take your eye off the pot, he was concentrating on the cannon to bring the black into play and overcut it. Doesn't want to be seeing that happening too often. Not against an in-form Mark Allen. Probably finish on the blue, hitting the cushion first here.
1.
And that's not a bad kiss. He's got an angle on this blue to leave choice of reds. The one to the right of the bunch will go, and the one to the left of the black's available. So it's worked out okay, that nudge on the blue.
Six.
Yep, just okay. Good shot on the blue. And the angles, and important to leave a good angle on the black,
7.
which he's got. Not totally straightforward, this pack. A few looser reds to the right hand side of it. Do you play a cannon on one of those, or do you try and go into the main bunch? Well, I was going to say it hasn't worked out, but that's not too bad.
14.
There is a red he can go at. And beautifully controlled with a perfect angle.
Well, he may be unlucky again here. As you say, John, he had the perfect angle on the blue, and his body language and little
20.
shake of the head tells you he's been very unlucky there. He hit the pink almost full ball, and it's just covered everything.
Yeah, it's tough to do, but put the disappointment behind you of not being on a ball and make sure that your next safety shot is as good as you can play it.
Mark Allen, 20.
I should imagine there's a fair amount of pressure on Neil Robertson at the moment. Knows his opponent is hitting the ball really well, and the only reason he hasn't scored there is because it's run awkward for him. So all his safety shots and attempted pots have got more pressure on them.
And I think he was looking to see if he come off the side cushion and landed on that red near the left corner pocket. Would it be safe? But there's a pot on for the middle if he tries that. He's got to get this just right, or he'll leave a possible pot. Pretty good pace, because that red that's just to the left of the pink spot was available. Might still take it on. Wasn't far away, and he held it for the yellow or green, but now that he's missed the pot, it's like a game of chess sometimes. He left him that shot. He knew it was going to be a difficult one, and Mark took the bait. Had he have knocked it in, he would have knocked a few more in. Can he capitalize now? It's fascinating to watch, isn't it? The tactics, John.
Yes, and that was far better cued from Neil. That was definitely hit in the middle of the white, straight in the centre of the pocket, and a perfect angle on the blue. And sometimes that happens, Dennis, as well. You know, you feel as if Mark will be sitting there thinking, I've done all the work and opened the pack up here and made it easier for my opponent.
Six.
This is a very important juncture in this match. He's got to score here, Neil.
Yeah, something
Seven.
he hasn't had a chance to do in the two previous frames. He never scored a point. Mark Allen had 138 and then 72. But that's what these top players can do. You know, you got to just
14.
bounce straight back again and show who's boss.
15.
Good chance here. A little cannon into the two reds that are right of the pink. Bottom red there. If he can just flick that one out, the red below the pink will be potable. So just to the right hand side, little cannon here.
$22. 23.
And these are now lovely. Could have done with a little bit more on the cue ball. I'd have to screw this with a little bit of reverse side to throw the cue ball out into the middle of the table. But he's looking good again.
30.
Yeah, you got the required right hand side on that, and when it hit the cushion it just moved off to the left. We'll just show you it again. Watch the white as it hits the cushion, pinging off there. The natural angle would have took him in between the pink and the black. It's amazing, John, the number of people that start
31.
playing snooker and they think you've got to play pots with side all the time, but it's only for the positional side that you usually use the side. It makes the pot much more difficult.
Yes, clever little shot Neil played there. The last one, he noticed that the pink did go through the gap. Very clever.
37.
They've gone up for blue. Noticed that had sneaked through.
$38. 44. $45. $52.
Well, certainly
53.
a case of trading blows at the minute in this match. Frame 3, 73 from Neil Robertson. Frame 4, 138, Mark Allen, and a 72 in the last. And Neil Robertson
60.
at the moment, 60 and counting. It's good stuff.
61.
I mentioned earlier about Mark Allen making 46 century breaks last season. Neil Robertson,
68.
he's made 54. He's already made 30 this season. So two of the game's
69.
top break builders in action here, and isn't it enjoyable? It really is.
Yes, Dennis, it shows you how well you've got to play these days. Oh, just to win matches, never mind tournaments.
76.
Very high standard.
Man, when you get the
77.
Masters, every match is like a final, isn't it, with the top 16 in the world? I mean, Neil's made 243 centuries in his career. Turned professional
84.
in 1998. But it's been a
86.
terrific effort. It really has.
$89.
Yeah, we've had 12 centuries so far in this year's Masters.
93.
Well, I said he had to
98.
score, and that's exactly what he's done. This for a century.
Absolutely superb.
104.
It really is. This audience at the Alexandra Palace are witnessing some excellent snooker here. And in goes the black. And what a great response from Neil Robertson. He had breaks of 138 and 72 put into him. He's responded with that 111, and we're all square at 3 each.
Neil Robertson to break.
And we're back all square at 3 each, and it's fascinating.
It's a pretty good break-off shot. Might just be a gap between the yellow and blue. Well, in fact, he can play the red just past the blue to knock it back up the table. And there was no easy escape to get the cue ball back up there.
Yes, the old dump shot, Dennis, like your old pal there with you the other day. He was 65 years of age, Mr. Cliff Thorburn.
Yeah, he was. He had a few days in Arizona with his wife Barbara. He's 65 and he looks terrific.
Has a choice of reds if he decides. Well, it looks like he's going to take this one on. Is it the stun shot or a run around the angles? May very well be the stun. Well, it was an attempted stun. It's the first one he's hit poorly for a while. Wasn't easy, but hit across it somewhat.
One.
Now, if he plays for the blue here, the pack's a little bit awkward.
6.
You know, the pink's off its spot. There's a red just to the left of the pink spot.
7.
So he's got to hit that red full in the face rather than the pink, the one that's just there to the left of the pink spot. So it's not as easy as it normally would be, but you would still think he'd manage it because he does play it so well. He might not even play for it on this occasion. There's a couple of reds that will pot into the right corner, and maybe if that
12.
red near the pink spot is available to the left corner pocket, he'll just leave the pack for a while. Yeah, on this
13.
occasion, that definitely was the correct choice of shot.
Little stun shot off the black here up into the right of the two reds. Should leave you on the other one. Well, it should do, unless you play it like that. That wasn't a very good shot.
20.
Needed to hit the red on the right-hand side there, so he virtually couldn't have that shot he's got left. That was pretty poor.
Well, just maybe he can pot this one. Well, it didn't look as if he could. Surely it doesn't go into the... Well, it does, but can he see enough of it? It's pretty tight. Difficult to judge these sometimes, whether you can see enough of the red to take the pot on. This will be a little bonus, but it must have been very, very tight. Over a minute's thinking time.
Well, he's looking at the cutback on the red on the right-hand side. It's very thin, and there's a good chance you're going to cannon the other red, so no guarantee you'll be on a colour even if you knock this in. Great pot.
21.
But it could be end of break.
Yeah, he's got to leave the white over the right side of the table because of that red that's to the right of the blue. Where his tip is okay. Anywhere there, I don't think that red would pot.
Yeah, it just shows you, Dennis, that little cannon into the back of the pack there. Every shot's important, isn't it? It was a simple little shot that you couldn't really see going wrong. And because he's hit the red the way he has, it's crept behind the other one.
Green ball. Neil Robertson, 21.
What a nice fluke that could turn out to be, especially if the white keeps going and he can pot the yellow. Just a straightforward safety shot he was playing, and he put the red in off the blue. When you see it like that, you think, oh, that was a clever shot. But what a fluke. But this is a key shot now. It's a cut back, and there's a red to the left of the blacks available. There's a one above the pink spot. Not an easy pot. How's your luck? Well, can you believe it? He's found a gap there that...
It's difficult to argue you're unlucky after the last shot, though, isn't it?
Just because you get a fluke doesn't mean you have to have a bit of bad luck. But how did he find that gap, eh? What's your favourite gap? The Watford gap or the Cumberland gap, John?
The Gap Band, they were great, Dennis.
Is he going to be tempted here? This would be some shot if he pots this and gets on the black. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, that is. You won't see a better pot and a better positional shot than that. 10 out of 10 for that effort. His long pot success rate a lot higher than Neil's, which you wouldn't expect. Neil Robertson, one of the all-time great potters, but
11.
that was some shot he pulled off there.
12.
Yes, Dennis, not so much the pot itself, but wonderful control on the cue ball off two angles. So Neil was in first, had his chance.
19.
Cannon went astray. What can Mark Allen do?
20.
He's going to need another cannon. They're all blocking each other into the left corner pocket, and they're all blocking each other, by the looks of it, into the right corner pocket, so he needs... Still a pretty good shot, but the snooker would have had Mark Allen in all sorts of trouble. Yeah, he had a quick glance at it, but the black's not far enough away from the pocket to try and send the red in off the black. If that black had been fractionally to the right, it would have helped Mark Allen.
Yeah, he's got a shot off the left-hand side, red. He's got to hit reasonably thick and get back down, but he could bring the bump in the middle pocket into play. Red on the left of the blue, you've got to be careful with that one. Not to hit that middle pocket on the other side on the way back. Like that. Oh, it was close.
You still caught that jaw of the pocket that you predicted, John. As we show you the shot again, it was a natural angle to go towards that middle pocket. And he's left a longish one on.
It's funny, actually, a couple of matches this week when they've gone 3-3, the next frame have been quite a twitchy affair. I think there's some psychological advantage of going 4-3 ahead, because certainly this week it's been the case.
1.
He needs to be on the black And he is, as you can see from that picture. Still needs a good positional shot. He could play it with a little touch aside and try and get into the reds. And when you're this close to the pocket, not easy to control the cue ball. Well, this red must pass the black when it's respotted. If it doesn't,
8.
clearly it does.
I tell you what, that was a much better shot than it looked as well. Loads of side on that to run it round the angles, and he couldn't hit it any better.
9.
Plenty of side to spin it off. See, the second time really took off there. Played that shot in such a way that he gave himself an option there.
16.
Possibility of being on one in the centre, if not, should be on one in the corner. So edged his bets a little bit.
$17.
And these reds are now lined up like soldiers.
Yeah, all 4 available into the left corner. The one that's closest to the white available to the right corner. They're all available to the right middle, so no problem here. Or there shouldn't have been a problem. What was that? He'd like to take that again. That's
24.
probably one of the worst positional shots that Neil has played for quite some time.
I mean, if you're going to play that shot and play the reds in the opposite middle, you've got to play that with a little screw. At least. We'll have some stun on the cue ball, not just drop it in. That's a major mistake. But that
Robertson,
is an excellent
24.
return. So he obviously must have been disappointed with that shot, but didn't show it and gave the next one 100%.
Just looking at the situation here, there's no easy path to just land on the red that's near the cushion. He had to go twice across, and if he slips past that red, he'll leave it on.
Foul. And
He was
miss
in quite a hole there.
near Robertson. 4.
Yes, and not only has he slipped past it, he slipped past it at the perfect pace for Neil. He's left him a lovely angle on this red. If he just drops it in, it's a natural onto the black, so everything went wrong there.
One.
So this is Neil's 3rd chance in this frame. Surely you won't let this one go begging.
He hasn't made it easy for himself, has he?
8.
And who would have thought would have been saying that? His 3rd chance after what's happened in the 4 previous frames. Just one chance needed by either player to win the frame. But as you mentioned, John, it is a bit of a psychological point in the match. Both players wanting to get the lead at this stage, 4-3. Good recovery there.
9.
And just the blue and one more red needed.
Yes, good recovery. A little bit less pressure on that shot. The fact that the 2 reds in the centre of the table weren't potable where he's left the cue ball, so can play with a little bit more confidence. But good pot nonetheless.
Well, was that
Yeah,
just a bad
Robertson,
miss, or did
9.
he get a bit of a kick? I'm not sure. It just looked like a bad miss. Let's have another look at that one. Didn't seem to kick. Sometimes it straightens up, which it did there, but that just seemed to be a poor shot. Amazing. Yeah, that had to go in. He only needs the red, so it'll be a pretty relieved Neil Robertson after missing that blue.
One.
It's amazing. We've had breaks in every frame except this one. There's another sitter missed.
Neil Robertson
But only one snooker needed to tie, so what was he doing there?
I do not know what is going on here. How has he missed that? We've said it before, sometimes your player gets the ball they think he's won the frame with and they relax, but no excuse for missing that one.
And the balls are not that badly placed to get snookers. You always want a colour somewhere near a cushion so that you can try and get in behind it. Not easy. This time the brown's probably the best ball, but not from this position. That's one of the best pots he's never played, if that makes sense.
Black ball.
And he's tried to double the black after that.
Black
And he
one.
has conceded the frame,
Neil
so
Robertson.
after all the fireworks, we've had a frame there where both players missed lots of chances, but Neil Robertson will be quite pleased. He's back in the lead at 4-3.
You haven't seen more than one frame between the two players so far. Do you expect that pattern to continue, or do you feel that it may change now?
No, absolutely. I think, you know, as we said at the top of the show, it has all the hallmarks of going right to the distance, and I certainly feel it can still do that now. Yeah.
Well, interesting views from the boys there in the studio, and interesting from Steve to say there's a sad website. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, he can find them.
That wasn't as he intended. Don't know where the white maybe just drifted slightly there. He was looking for a fuller contact, and he finished up hitting at half ball and has left a chance. Just keep an eye on the cue ball here.
One.
Never easy to control the white once he had to cannon into reds, which he couldn't avoid on that occasion. And it's a bit of a stretch over the bunch here. Not the tallest player in the game, Mark. That's where a little bit of height comes in if you're over 6 feet tall. Those little extensions coming in very handy. Good recovery there. Fully stretched with the extension on the cue, and that's where you don't want a pair of new shoes. Judd Trump had a pair on. If he had tried that shot on those, he would have finished up underneath the table. He would have slipped.
Seven.
He's done very well here to get the cue ball in good position. Tricky opening red, tricky blue. Just what he wanted. First chance in this frame, 4-3 down.
11.
Yeah, I think they've both been playing too well for it to turn out to be a scrappy finish. It was just that last frame, the way the balls went, and it caused both players to miss a couple of easy shots. But up until that, it was just
12.
one mistake and you were losing the frame. And he's got an angle here. He doesn't have to cannon those two reds, but he's got the one at the back that would be on. But he can roll it in and still be nicely on the red. A little bit of noise just as he was on the shot there. So doing the right thing, getting up and then back down again. There's still another
19.
3 reds that are available before he would have to go into the pack.
$20.
Not the best angle. A little shake of his head there. He's left it rather awkward. A little bit more to the right. He could have screwed back for the one near the cushion or the one to the right of the bunch.
Well, that's an excellent shot. Could have done with slightly more on it,
27.
but still to get there was very good. Once again, now, as you mentioned before, just slightly stretching.
28.
There's only the one red to the right of the bunch that's available. And he might have to play for that because it's not a good angle here on the black to try and play a cannon, as you can see from the angle there. And he's played that well. He's on. I think both of them may pot into this right corner.
35.
Yeah, there you see it.
$36.
And now he can go into the pink full ball when potting the blue. He was a little bit unlucky in an earlier shot like this. Let's see if it can turn out a bit better this time for him. That'll do nicely.
41. $42.
So normal play has been resumed, John.
Yes, as a competitor, you realise there's certain parts of matches that are becoming very dangerous. And Mark Allen would have
47.
realised that going 5-3 down to Neil Robertson is going to leave him with a mountain to climb. So your survival instincts kick in. And you go up through the gearbox. This has been very good.
Just a fraction away from where he wanted the cue ball there.
$48.
Just able to avoid cannoning the pink there, but only just. So he's just battling hard to get himself back into prime position. Sometimes you make a break and you're always just a fraction out each shot, John, aren't you?
Yes, I mean, there's obviously no problem with this pink. He'd just love to drop it in, but when the pink is respotted, The loose red on the right is then covered. Onto the bunch of 4. You see that spot there. So he has to make sure if he knocks this in, he can force an angle out of it. So much so he decided to come back over the table for the loose red on the right.
54.
Give this a bit of respect.
$55.
Still not out of the woods just yet. He's 55 in front. If he pots the blue, it'll be 60. So he's a few more reds away from securing the frame. And now looking at the red, this nearest the black's available into the right corner, but he's got to get all the way around the table to get into that position. And this looks to be excellent. Terrific shot there.
60.
Maybe bounced a little bit further than he would have liked, but still a good shot to leave the red on.
$61.
And if he pots the black, he'd be 68 in front with just a possible 67 remaining. So no heroics there, making sure of the black. But he'd like to
68.
make sure of another red to absolutely make certain.
Yes, give this one 100%. Just because he needs a snooker doesn't mean the frame's over.
Mark Allen, 68.
Tell you what, if this red passes the pink to the middle, all of a sudden there's a bit of snooker to be played in this frame, and it does go, as you can see.
1.
And he doesn't have to stay on the black all the time, and if he leaves one of those reds next to the pink when he pots his final color before he gets on the last red, every chance he could get the snooker that he needs.
Sure.
So Mark will all of a
8.
sudden be feeling a little anxious there.
Yes, as I said, always make sure that you give every ball 100%, because only one snooker at this level isn't a big ask.
9.
Let that run a little bit further than he intended, but at some stage he'd like to get the red up near the blue, because he
Okay.
definitely doesn't want to pot both these reds that are near the pink, because
Okay. Yeah.
either of them will be in a good position to get the snooker that he's going to need. So maybe he'll play for that red on this occasion, although he can hold for one of these. But you wouldn't want to be potting these two reds with colors and then wanting to get the snooker on the red that's up the other
16.
side of the blue.
$17.
I mean, he could pot the black and play the snooker with two reds remaining on the table. If he rolls the black in, he can then play that snooker in behind the pink.
The red down the table, the ultimate would be to get it near a colour so it's harder to hit.
Well, he hasn't played a good shot there. Okay, he might still be able to get a snooker, but he's disgusted with that. He
30.
wanted the white further up the table.
Yes, the priority with that is just get the cue ball further down the table. Can't help but be leaving a snooker, but from where he's left this, that opportunity's gone.
Still stand in behind the pink if he wants here. Oh, he stuck the red up.
Neil Robertson.
In fact, he looks at
13%
Mark and he
conceded.
says that's enough
Playing
because
Mark
it's an
Allen.
easy putt, so he has conceded. So that chance has slipped away from Neil Robertson. So that break of 68 in the end proving a winner for Mark Allen.
He has had moments where perhaps he's had the odd fluke here or there, but he has had some bad breaks earlier in the match, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, but it certainly evened itself out and hasn't made too much difference on the match. I mean, it's, you know, first to 2 now from here on in.
This is such an absorbing encounter. 4-all now between the defending champion, Neil Robertson, and Mark Allen.
Yeah, it started out the best of 11, and as Ken Doherty was saying there, it's the first to 2, so in theory the best of 3, and that's not the best safety shot that Mark's ever played.
No, cue ball short again, a little bit too thick on the reds. Just what Neil Robertson's looking for at the start of this frame.
I'll tell you what is this table fast. I think he's just about okay. Looked to be perfect at this stage, and then the white just kept on rolling. Oh, he's been lucky. He's covered it, but you would have to say just a little bit of tension there because he didn't get close to that black. But the black knocked a red safe.
Thanks, Mark.
Just had a quick look to see if the black travelled past the pink. He's almost straight on this red. And there's your answer. The black obviously goes. And when he pops the black, he'll be perfectly on the red next to it.
Oh, and by the way, how sweet did he hit that? Absolutely plumb. Just the work on the cue ball there to come back. Couldn't hit that any better.
But the thing about that shot as well, John, he didn't hit it that hard. You know, the timing was perfect.
8.
This frees the other red. It goes in this pocket,
9.
but it's also clear for the other corner now. So there's another 4 reds available before he would have to go into the bunch. Doesn't mean he's going to wait until he gets those 4 reds. But there's a
16.
few points on here.
17.
Just a delicate little stun shot needed here to leave the red that's just at the back of the bunch. Just played to perfection there. That's all he needed.
24.
Neil will take the pink here instead. And these are the situations you
31.
find out about yourself as a snooker character.
32.
Can you hold yourself together when it matters the most?
Key shot coming up if he decides to go into the bunch here. How's your luck? That red's going towards the pocket. He's covered it. He has covered it, and if he plays a plant,
38.
because the red's not that close to the pocket, that's a difficult plant that he'd be faced with. So a little bit unlucky there.
The only thing I will say in its favour is if he plays the first red, you can see the pack being split here. It's actually a natural angle to get back onto the black. Now, yes, I know it's a big shot to take on, but if he did decide to play it, he hasn't got to do a great deal with the cue ball. Top spin on that and run round the angles, you're bound to be on the black.
Played it well.
39.
It might have looked easy on your screen, but that had to be absolutely spot on. Well, what a great chance, and well, as I said, the standard
46.
of this match has been superb. There was just the one frame, the seventh frame, that was a little awkward, but the rest of the frames, you know, virtually one chance, and it's over. It's been great stuff, John.
Brilliant. Really has been good, Dennis, and sensibly Neil Robertson there, the cue ball cleaned. It's just one of those shots that you can get a kick on.
47.
Seems to be those ones where you're just playing slow run-throughs. So he's thinking clear and straight. And what a competitor this boy is.
54.
Seems to be a facet of the
55.
Australians. Plenty of grit.
Yeah, true grit. What a great film that was. John Wayne, wasn't it?
$62. $63.
Mark
70.
Allen will be getting himself ready for another little mini comeback. He'd have to win
71.
the last two frames, but he's quite capable of doing that, as he's shown with the breaks he has knocked in this afternoon. One of those, the highest. In fact, he holds the two highest breaks in this year's Masters, 138
78.
and a 136.
79. $86.
There's that Cracking shot Neil played with the plant. Okay, it was a natural angle, but you still had to get it.
87.
We've already had, as I mentioned before, 12 centuries
94.
in this year's Masters. This will be the 13th. A little bit of noise coming from somewhere backstage.
No, what happened there, Dennis, was Neil looked at the table and tried to had a quick add up and
95.
realised he couldn't beat 138.
That's why Mark's smiling. A matter of £8,000 at stake. Absolutely superb. That's the 13th century in this year's Masters,
101.
and coming at a pretty good time for the Australian. Doesn't really matter about missing that red.
Neil
The
Robertson.
standard continues. And Neil Robertson, with that magnificent century break, puts himself just one frame away from victory. Now, could we possibly have another deciding frame here this year? And Mark Allen still having a little smile with Neil. That's great to see. I mean, they're terrific competitors out there on the green cloth, but away from it, it's nice to see them having a little smile there.
No real value in taking the red down the left-hand side of the table there, because obviously, I mean, Hawkeye shows you can pot it, but you can't get on the black with it, so it'd be a very good shot for nothing. Hence the safety shot, and a very good one at that. Problem for Mark here is the red that's closest to the black is the one he'd like to play the safety off, but the red up the table you want to avoid on the way back. Which he's managed to do, but unfortunately put a red towards the corner.
Yeah, and Mark knows only too well that that's not good enough. A little shake of the head tells you that it's not good enough against a potter like Neil Robertson. So the first chance falls to the Australian, who up until last year had never got past the quarter-final at the Masters. He beat Sean Murphy 10-6 last year, but he'd had 3 quarter-final places. This will be another little mini milestone. But he's got a lot of balls to pot before he gets into that semi-final. He'd scored up until that one ball going down. He'd scored 1,000 points. That's not easy.
Yes, if anything, he just hit that last shot too good. He got into the cue ball too much. Played up for the black, but well, this is a tester. There's nothing easy about that.
Neil Robertson won.
You know, when he got up from the shot, John, I thought he's suddenly thinking to himself, this is a bit too difficult. And then he got back down. He'd have been better playing it the first time, because getting up maybe put that little seed of doubt in his mind. Okay, the pinks finished up right in the bunch of reds and out of commission, but it was always going to be a tough pot at that pace.
One.
That was very well controlled. A lot more difficult than it looked. Easy on these cloths for the ball to run away there. Couldn't have asked for much better than that.
That's very well played. Because that black would only just go.
8.
It was a good thing he got nicely in behind it.
9.
With the chances there now. And it's a pretty good chance.
Yes, I know I'm harping on about it, but that first shot was very good. Come
16.
off the side cushion and leave himself on the black. If he makes a mess of that position, it was end of break.
17.
Beautifully controlled this was. I think it deserves to go to a final frame decider this match, the way both
24.
players have played today. It's been good stuff.
$25. $32. 33.
And now an important part coming up. If he gets the correct cannon here. I think he's okay. He's got one to the left middle pocket.
40.
But is there a path to screw back on the black? Or does he have to go through for the blue? Well, he's playing a bit top. Through for the blue.
41.
Well, they've been trading punches all afternoon,
46.
and there's another bout of it.
Just a little bit of movement in his line of sight there. Yes, Ken Doherty in the
47.
studio mentioned nip and tuck. They've been nipping and tucking all afternoon here.
$52. 53.
Just looking at Mark Allen's breaks, he's had breaks of 49, 138, 72, 68. Neil Robertson's had 66, 73, 111 and 101. And this crowd at the Alexander Palace have had a feast of snooker here this afternoon. It was always going to be a great
60.
quarter-final.
Yes, I suppose if you'd have said to me which one of the four could you see going the distance, I probably would have plumped for this one. Oh,
Mark Allen, 60.
well.
Well, he was only a couple of pots away from taking this, was decided. Looked in there, and then all of a sudden, just at the end, it just turned left slightly. Wow, that was so close. But is there a pot available here? There must be. You can get through to the one near the pocket, I think, or is it that one just past the other? Yeah, it was the other one. That one was a little bit tight, the one we looked at. But what a chance now for Neil Robertson. Surely Mark Allen couldn't finish up having this frame pinched away from him and send him out of this year's Masters.
Yes, for all the world, it was
8.
looking 5 each. He's made some important clearances in his snookering
9.
career, Neil Robertson, but this will be up there. That pink, of course, on the side cushion is going to be a serious barrier. Can he get himself right back in the frame with blacks and reds?
$16. $17.
I'm thinking a little bit ahead here, Dennis, but it mightn't be the worst idea to leave the last red
24.
on an angle to flick that pink out. So if he can pot this red, black, and leave an
25.
angle, pot the red and flick the pink out.
I think he was thinking about that, John, when he glanced up at the scoreboard a couple of shots ago. He was already well ahead, and maybe that's what he had on his mind. But it's a great idea. But he hadn't quite got the angle to get onto the red to do that.
Yes, the
32.
problem with that shot now is he's going to, unless he plays the bottom red, he's going to move the red out of a position he can play that shot to flick the pink out. Plays the one on the left, he'll have to cannon the other one. Ideally, he'd love to have left one of those reds where they are.
And that's pushing the
33.
red rather awkward. Okay, he's got a good angle on the blue to go up past the black and come back towards that red. That's the angle he's got with a little touch aside to get towards the red. Now, how's the nudge? Not good enough.
38.
Yes, it'd be very tricky to knock this in. He's having a look at it. Hard to see from this angle whether it's potable or not. He's got a simple safety shot on if he wants it, where he can put the cue ball behind the black.
I think if the cue ball was in behind the red, he might have a chance of rolling it into the middle pocket. But from this angle, I think he'd be asking a bit too much. You see, if the white was directly behind the red, he could roll that in. But the fact he'd have to cut it into the pocket makes it a lot more difficult. So a good safety and a possible snooker is the order of the day here.
Yes, and on second look, I'm just wondering whether he could avoid the middle pocket with the red just to play behind the black. He may have to change his choice of shot there. The bump might be in the way.
I think he's playing the shot in behind the black, yeah.
Neil Robertson, 38.
Not quite.
Good shot from Mark, this. A simple shot, but a very effective one. Use the board colours to mask the red. And as ever, it's not about hitting it, it's what you leave.
Foul and a miss. Mark Allen, 4.
Yeah, he doesn't want to move it very far, does he? 25 now, the difference.
Mark?
Should hit it this time. Just wants to land on it.
Foul.
Now then,
Mark Allen 4.
that's 8 points he's given away. A quick look at the scoreboard. The shot that he left, Mark Allen, it wasn't a good shot he played on that last red, Neil Robertson. Oh, he's left the pot on, and he only needs the red now. Almost went in off, but we are going to have that decider. We've already had 4 last frame shootouts in this year's Masters. We're going to have another.
Six.
Yes, he just couldn't get position on those final 2 reds in that break, Neil Robertson, and he made it harder for himself.
Mark Allen 6.
His final safety shot on that red to get behind the black wasn't quite good enough either.
Yeah, the brown's just slightly in the way of a natural angle to come off the baulk cushion. He'll have to play with a little touch aside. You can see him striking the cue ball right of centre to straighten it up. Well judged. Neil doesn't want to be moving that black. He wants to keep it there. I mean, he could risk playing the yellow onto the black and a snooker back down the table, but he could put the black safe. I think he's left a gap. He's left the pot on here.
Mark Allen 2.
Well, Neil still coming back to the table, but very little chance you would feel. 37 behind with just 25 on the table. Three 4-point snookers to tie. I think I'd rather just get on with the deciding frame, John.
Yes, couldn't agree with you more. And of course, there's only really the black you can play any sort of effective snooker behind. Well, try to bring the pink into play there, Neil.
3. Neil Robertson, 3.
That's helped his cause a little bit, bringing the pink off the cushion.
Yes, he'd love to have chipped it down towards the corner pocket, though. It's not. It's all right. You can get behind it now, but not very effectively, or easily, I should say. At least if the pink was down in the corner, he'd have a massive target to aim at.
Well, we are going to have a deciding frame. It was that earlier break of 60 that Mark Allen made. He almost messed up. Neil Robertson had a chance to pinch the match. He didn't take it, and we've got a decider. Cracking stuff, this.
Mark Allen, he is on level terms with Neil Robertson. It means that we have a final frame decider in the first of these quarterfinals for this year's Betfair Masters. Here we go, back with Dennis and John.
Thank you, that'll do, thank you.
And the customary handshake there before a final frame decider. Important to get a good break off. And that's pretty good.
I still love playing in these, Dennis. Final frame deciders, they're absolutely great.
Yes, it's very hard to describe to people how you feel and the adrenaline rush you get, but there's no better feeling, and as Ken says, when you pick a snooker cue up, you dream about getting yourself into these sort of situations. And already indications that it's going to be a very tense deciding frame. Now that we've got 2 reds up the other end of the table, neither player would have wanted this.
Well, Mark has got a shot with the red on the right-hand side if he wants. The problem is the red coming back and hitting either green or brown. He could play this with topspin. Red on the right. This is the one he's looking at. Just got to make sure that the red doesn't make a contact with the board colour. Well, it did. It was the yellow, but it's not bad.
And it gets the frame back to normality. There is a possibility of a free shot here. The red to the right of the blue. If it goes up into the left corner, he could maybe, well, he's not even looking at it, but he could take that pot on, and a natural angle would take him up towards the black, and he wouldn't leave anything. But I suppose at this stage, you're wanting to be ultra careful.
Yes, he's looking at it. He's come round to have a look to see where the cue ball would finish, so.
Be interesting to see if he does take it on. No, he decided on the safety shot, and he's knocked the blue in. And he's pushed a red over
Mark
the
Allen,
corner
5.
pocket. Now he's probably thinking maybe I should have tried the pot, but he couldn't foresee knocking the blue in there. But look at this red, John. What a shot he's faced with here. The natural angle would take him straight into the bunch of reds with the cue ball. What an early shot to take on, and what an early big shot to take on. I think he was expecting to hit the reds there, wasn't he? Little smile tells you that, but
yeah,
because of the pace, it just swung it round the back of them.
yeah, I couldn't see him missing. A ball on the way back to the balk area there. Good pot though. Well, he tried
Mark Allen 1.
quite a clever shot there. He played that green into the side of the pack in the hope of opening the balls out and leaving the cue ball. He didn't get it how he wanted it. The cue ball he did, but he missed the pack.
Of course, with the yellow and green off their spots, there's only the brown to play in behind. Okay, the yellow's in not a bad spot, but and in behind the yellow, he's gone. And look where the red's going. How well did he judge that? And at first glance, as we show you the shot again, that he played perfectly. How does he get into the left side of the pack so as he doesn't leave that red that's over the pocket? Or how does he get to the red? I mean, there is a path off the balk cushion in between brown and blue, but boy, that would take some judging. I mean, somewhere near that, but that's such a tough shot to judge.
Yes, looking at it, I don't know whether the blue's actually in the way. It's one of those that's very tight, because obviously off these cushions the angle will widen. He's having a look at it. He may have no option, and I certainly don't blame him for taking his time.
Yeah, he'd have to go very close to the blue, as you said, John, and I think that line's somewhere near where he needs to hit. Now, can he judge it? Can he get it somewhere near the line and miss the blue and hit the red? There's your answer.
One.
Never in doubt, Dennis, was it? Never in doubt. What a shot that was.
Well, absolutely amazing how he's judged this. Not only pots it, gets himself onto the black. I bet Mark can't believe the outcome there.
Wow. Another excellent shot, but
8.
has the cue ball run half a roll too far. He'd love to have been on the one on the right-hand side, but I think the pink is blocking it. Cueing will be slightly awkward for one on the left. The red that's near the pink spot. Can he reach it?
I'm just wondering if he can play that shot or whether he can pot that and screw it off the cushion and onto the black. I don't think he'd be able to hold it without using a cushion, but I think it is on. This is a key shot. He has held it, and another good cannon.
9.
And all of a sudden the game could open up. But that was a good recovery there. Watch the side to check it and leave himself on the black. The natural angle would have taken it onto the cushion.
Well, if Mark Allen loses the match after playing that shot behind the yellow, he'll never believe it. What a shot he played there. Excellent. Had him in all sorts of trouble, and now he's just sitting in the chair praying that this goes wrong.
Well, this was the terrific shot that Mark Allen played.
16.
And he must have felt, I've got him bang in trouble here, and I mean, the shot he's played, you could play it 10 times and never pot the red, never mind hit it.
Just got to be a little bit careful with this one. Already was looking at there. It's not perfect for the run through, and the screw back you'd have to be careful, so don't blame him for taking this one.
17.
And as Ken said in the studio before, I'm always banging the drum about all you want in the final frame is a chance. And Neil, this is definitely yours.
Well, that was just amazing how he judged the angle and not only hit the red, but to pot
20.
it was quite incredible. Got a kick
24.
there.
Yeah.
That's why he's the wrong side of the blue, so he's got to negotiate the brown and pink. As you can see, the red jump there, but at least the yellow's off its spot, which helps in potting the blue and getting back up to the reds. Well, look at the pot success rate, both at 92%. I mean, and just nothing to separate these two players in this quarter-final. It's been an absorbing match.
Yeah, it's funny enough, that yellow actually, even though it's off its spot, could be tricky if he's not careful. Yeah, it was one of those situations where at first you thought it was all right, but the way he wanted to play the shot,
29.
it was definitely going to be a potential barrier. So he's still on one, but not how he would have played it.
Yeah, you can still get on the black here, but without that little flick on the yellow, it would have been a lot easier. There's a gap here just to stun over and leave the black for the same pocket as the red. He's got the extension on the cue. He's fully stretched. But he's played it perfectly again.
30.
He may be hampered slightly. The red may be slightly in his way, as we'll show you this shot again. But can he cue at the white without that red hampering him slightly?
Yes, he's got two problems here. I agree with you, slightly hampered cueing wise, but where's the next red coming from as well? It's not one you want to dig down on and play a stun shot on this, so you can only really drop it in.
Yeah, I think he's got one that might go in the middle pocket. And he's on the red for the middle pocket because this red won't pass the black when it's respotted. So he's still going along
37.
very nicely.
If he had a little bit of angle, well, he's got some there. I'd be very tempted to be playing up for the blue here, or even the green if he wanted to. Blue it is.
38.
Well, I'm not sure if the red near the pink spot goes into the left corner. If it does, he's okay. If not, he's gonna, well, there's plenty of room, so not a problem. Two reds available there. It's a great chance, it has to be said, and it's a chance that definitely didn't look on when he came to the table tight in behind the yellow. This would be quite a remarkable win if he was to clinch it from the position he was in.
And Mark Allen can consider himself absolutely cursed to be sitting there in the chair
43.
and watching this. One of the best shots he played in the entire match, and he could lose the frame and match off it.
44.
how good is a competitor, Dennis, this boy?
51.
He is quite amazing, and he showed it against Ding. I mean, he was almost out of the tournament. He was a fraction of an inch out of being out of the Masters this year, and he fought back and beat Ding. And
The red, yeah.
we could see when he won that match, you beauty, when he potted the clinching ball. He really is a fierce competitor. Well, there's his brother watching this superb effort here.
52.
Yeah, Mark plays on the tour, or has played on the tour. He's listening in. This is some performance from Big Bruv.
Yes, and we've gone on about the way he's got in for this break,
59.
which in itself was a great shot. Obviously, you couldn't hope to pot it, but hitting it was the first priority. But how well has he taken the rest
60.
of these? He's been out of position 1 or 2 times in it, but that's it. And the rest of it's been pinpoint. And the ability to play like you're in the club when you're playing in a tournament that means so much is an art form.
65.
And this boy is very, very good at it.
Well, he is the defending champion, and Mark Allen, well, he feels that this year's Masters definitely has slipped away now. It's been a brilliant effort from Mark Allen, but the defending champion here, okay, a lot of good fortune with the opening shot, but what a clearance this has been.
73.
He's already had 2
74.
centuries in this quarter-final. And as all great champions do, he's doing it in style.
81.
Well, Mark's getting the old waistcoat unfastened, but what a match we've witnessed here, John, this afternoon. It's been
82.
absolutely superb.
Fantastic standard. Took a little while to warm up, but from the 3rd frame, it's been brilliant all the way through. And all I can say to Mark Allen is keep playing the way you are, because you are going to win tournaments and be at the business end of a lot of them, playing to the standard you've played today. He's played a very big part in this match.
90.
Yeah, Mark has won the World Open this year, and he certainly could be a future world champion. The man from County Antrim, flying the flag
97.
for Northern Ireland, and I'm sure he will win that World Championship.
98.
But this has been absolutely fantastic. What a way to finish a match. His 3rd
105.
century, and he's doing it in style. It was a shame I had to be a loser in the end, and Mark Allen says, well, I couldn't do anything about that. Played in a great spirit. These 2 players have
Great
given
game,
us
hard luck,
a fine display here in the Masters. And in the end, it was Neil Robertson with that magnificent century break that gets himself into the semi-final. He takes the match 6 frames to 5. Well done, both players.
Just sensational match we've just seen between Neil Robertson and Mark Allen. Both have played their part. There was never more than 1 frame between the 2, but in the end it's the defending champion, Ken, who has made it through to the semi-finals, and it must have been a monumental effort both mentally and physically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and a fitting end to a great match. I mean, it's a shame there has to be a loser, and I mean, Mark Allen, you know, what can you say? You know, he played a fantastic shot. You didn't think when he was sitting in his chair after playing that shot that he wouldn't get back to the table. He's been very unlucky, but Neil Robertson showed, as John Parrott said, a lot of mettle, a lot of bottle to actually get through into that semi-final, because he had to drain every bit of experience and expertise to get over the line, and that's what he did.